Raider Nation, what is the deal, man? Once again, it's your guy Panama Fargo back to y'all live with another episode of the Raider Rundown. And today, man, what we're gonna be talking about, I'm gonna get y'all into the injury report for today's practice today. See who was in there, see who came back. Some very positive news to get through. And two, we're gonna go over what the Raiders must do to win this game in Buffalo on Sunday, man. So without further ado, let's get this intro started and let's get it cracking.
Young guy, I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
What is the deal, Raider Nation? It's another episode of the Raider Rundown. Make sure you guys are tapping on that like and subscribe button, and please hit on the little notification bell if you can, so you get updated whenever I drop episodes like this one right here. But like I was saying, man, let's go over the injury report first, see who practiced, see some of the positive news that's coming out. And two, we're going to go over what the Raiders must do and show you just a little bit of background information. So without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, with the injury report, everybody we was talking about yesterday ended up practicing today. You're talking about Devontae, Trayvon Merrick, DeAndre Carter, right? Everybody ended up practicing. All right, Devontae was the only full go, though. So keep that in mind. Devontae was a full go. Everybody else, right, was limited. Trayvon with his thumb, DeAndre Carter with his knee. They were limited, but they're still out there. So I expect to see them on Sunday. Another person that we were looking at that got injured, Jacoby Myers. He's still in concussion protocol, which for me does not give me a lot of hope that he will be out there on Sunday. That kind of limits it to like a 25% chance for me that he'll be out there on Sunday, which means we'll probably see him week 3. And that bodes well for everybody that was talking about Hunter Renfrow not getting targets, not getting catches, right? Now, this is the week that we're probably going to see Hunter Renfrow start, making his presence felt on the football field. This is the week that I feel like that's going to go down. So that's all the injury reports right there. Chandler Jones, nothing to add on there. We know he's not going to be coming back anytime soon. So keep that in mind. As far as everybody that's practicing, expect to see them on the field. As far as for the Bills, right, they have Mitch Morse, who was on the injury report for them, but he's practicing. So they're relatively healthy going into that game on Sunday, right? Which now leads me to what do the Raiders have to do to win that game on Sunday, right? Because we're seeing all the talk. We're seeing all this shit that's going on with the Bills, right? So before I really get into that type of shit, let's get into the X's and O's of it, right? So what I want to do is share my screen with y'all and show y'all just a little bit of a background of what the Bills is trying to do, right, versus the New York Jets. And that can kind of bode well into what they might do for us. Think about this. Week 1 snap counts for the Buffalo Bills. Dalton Kincaid, 55 snaps, 80% of the snaps. Dawson Knox, I believe, Dawson Knox, 58 snaps, 84% of the snaps. Okay, now those are their 2 tight ends. Okay, what I really want you guys to focus on is the sentence at the bottom right here. Jets felt no need to go heavy against Bills' 12 personnel. And if you don't know what 12 personnel is, that is 2 tight ends, 1 running back. Okay, so keep that in mind. That is what 12 personnel is. So kind of a relatively heavy package, right? And that's kind of what you use if you're trying to say, okay, we're trying to run the ball, maybe do some play action, get a little physical. Okay, so Jets felt no need to go heavy against Bills' 12 personnel, right? And think about that, Kincaid, Knox. But when you think about Kincaid, Dawson Knox, you don't really think about them as real pure blockers at the tight end position, right? Especially Kincaid. You don't think about Kincaid as a real blocker. And to be honest, when Buffalo selected him, it kind of told me that they're going to use him more as a receiver than they are as a true traditional tight end. You have to think about this. Buffalo really does not have a number 3 receiver. I mean, realistically, I don't even know if they have a number 2 receiver. Now, Gabe Davis is cool, but he's 50-50. He's so-so. You feel what I'm saying? He's not there all the time to be, for me, considered as a consistent number 2 receiver. Now, they're searching for that. But we're going to get into why having Dawson Knox try to be that receiver is a good and a bad thing at the same time for them. We'll get into that a little later. But this is right here. Bills use 12 more than any other team in week 1. Both what I was just saying, right? They don't really have a number 2 receiver. They really don't. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about that. They're going to try to use Dalton Kincaid as that receiving type, right? And by all means, they can try to do that. But I think it limits their ability to stretch the field. And I mean, Gabe Davis is cool, but like I said, I don't think he's consistent enough for me to be regarded as like, oh yeah, that's a top flight number 2 receiver, right? He's not like a T. Higgins to me, right? That's different. So I want to continue on here. We're talking about the Bills, and these are all insiders for the Bills, right? Look at this. This will be fascinating to track on a weekly basis, right? And because you already see they try to go 12 personnel, but their 12 personnel isn't really a 12 personnel. You feel what I'm saying? Now, when you look at here, on the other side of the ball, the Bills went big nickel against 13 personnel. If you don't know what 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, 1 running back. And that's with 2 linebackers too. I sure hope the Bills have a plan B for Taylor Rapp big nickel versus heavy run sets because he struggled Monday, right? And this leads me into what the Raiders must do to win this game. It's time for Josh to get himself right. This is the week we're going to see Josh back to form. Okay, now last week you gave him a pass. You know, he wasn't really practicing like that, and it's Denver. You feel what I'm saying? They, like I keep saying about that game, they knew what we knew, which was we got to run the ball, right? And that was going to get it started, right? We just wanted to establish our physical dominance that first game, and we wanted to get Josh Jacobs a little bit of tick, a little bit of getting hit. You know what I mean? Now this week, he should be a little bit more fresh, right? As far as, okay, now I've gotten hit. My body's acclimated to it now. Now it's time to rock and roll. Time to give me the rock, which I fully expect the Raiders to be giving Josh Jacobs over 21 carries this game. And why do I think that? Because I don't think the Bills have the type of personnel to be able to stop the Raiders when it's time to get physical. All right. And that leads me to what the Raiders must do. Time to make it ugly. It is time to make it ugly. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to hear about none of the, the Bills are coming out here and they're mad, they're angry. They might be, but take this in mind. There's a lot of pressure on them too right now. A lot of pressure on them because this ain't the same old Raiders that just roll over and lay down, right? I was listening to Hondo Carpenter and with him. Raiders are playing with house money right now. You got to think about that. The Raiders are playing with house money. Nobody expects us to win this game. Oh, I don't think nobody except for Raider fans really expect us to win this game or just have a chance to win this game. We are double-digit under, right? And you look at the storyline. Josh Allen does not have a good first game. Everybody talking shit about him. The Bills, are they a Super Bowl contender? Or is within the locker room, him, Stephon Diggs, all this chatter, right? You need to make that shit louder. And the way to make that shit louder is to have doubt creep in their minds, right, during the game. And that's how you know we might be able to get them. Check this out. Say we go into the fourth quarter. We only down by 3 points. Or Lord willing, we're up, right? And we're making it a real contested. And it's still a game in the fourth quarter. It's still in the balance. You feel what I'm saying? There's still a mistake could tip the balance either way. That's where the Bills do not want to be. And the Raiders can provide that because of how we run the ball. If you look at Monday night versus the Jets, look what Paul and Dalvin Cook was able to do against, this Buffalo Bills defense. Now, keep this in mind. Y'all answer this, while wherever you're watching the video, answer this wherever you're watching the video. Do you think that the New York Jets offensive line is better than the Raiders offensive line? Let's be real with ourselves, okay? So if Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook was able to eat like they were on Monday night with, let's say, a worse O-line than the Raiders, imagine what Josh Jacobs in this offensive line is going to do. You feel what I'm saying? Keep this in mind, too. We saw a lot of that 12 personnel with the Raiders as well. Okay, we saw a lot of that 12 personnel. And I don't even say 12. I want to say heavy. I believe it was like a 13 if you really think about it because they brought Thayer Mumford to be that third tight end, right? That extra tight end. So now you're looking, Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer, Thayer Mumford, all are in there for some blocking sets, right? And you can do a lot of things with that because, Hooper can still run routes. Mayer can still run routes, and Thayer Mumford is going to get in there and block his ass off. The Raiders got to make this a very, very physical game, bro. Have to make this a very physical game. Make it ugly because that's how you're going to win. There's no pressure on us right now. Zero pressure to do anything. Zero pressure on any players because nobody expects us to win. We just got to go in there and play our game. Jimmy got to be steady. No turnovers. We have to win the turnover battle. Have to. There's no other choice. Now, there's an emphasis for Buffalo for them taking care of the football. We talked about it all week. Of course, that's what they're going to tell Josh Allen. But like I'm saying, if you're making it ugly and you get into the fourth quarter and motherfuckers feel like they got to start pressing, right? Because he's the type of quarterback, for as good as he is, he's going to start pressing if he feels like his team's, the success is in the balance and he feels like a play needs to be made. You know how Josh Allen gets, right? And for as great as I think he is, he has that little bit of that gunslinger mentality where he's like, oh, we're down. I got to make a play. You got to force him. You kind of got to force Josh Allen into that a little bit. It's the good and the bad, right? It's the good and the bad that comes with Josh Allen. One, you're scared of what he can do beyond the X's and O's. But at the end of the day, if he feels like he needs to start pressing and making plays and doing things that's out the structure and doing things that's the play not really called for, that's kind of when you get him. That's when he starts turning the ball over, right? So you need to start thinking about things like that. And the way to do that is to keep his ass on the sidelines, make the game gritty, take clock, make the game gritty. And towards the fourth quarter, when it's money time, you now say, all right, bro, now time to force him into a mistake. Maybe you can force him into a mistake sooner than that. But at the end of the day, that's how we're going to get these teams. So stay in tune for tomorrow because I'm going to be dropping the keys to victory, specific keys to victory on what the Raiders need to do. I got 5 of them, 5 on each side of the ball for real. So stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to go over that, man. Y'all let me know, what do the Raiders have to do to make this an ugly game? What do y'all think the Raiders got to do to make this an ugly game? And do you think that's what the Raiders got to do to win this game? Because that's what I fully expect. That's what I fully believe. But I'm ready for a dog fight. And Buffalo better be ready for a dog fight too. And keep this in mind, that's not the type of game they want to play. That's not the type of game they want to play. They want to come out here and whoop our ass by double-digit scores to prove a point. But that's what I'm saying. That's what's expected of them. That's what's expected of them by national media. And keep this in mind, I don't really pay attention to national media when they talk about the Raiders because most of them don't know what the fuck they talking about when it comes to the Raiders. Most national coverage either hates on us or don't know what the hell they're talking about. So at the end of the day, why listen to them? But you talk about that, right? All that pressure on them, all the expectation on them, Super Bowl, this. They're expected to whoop our ass. Not by us, by the national media. They're expected to whoop our ass. And if that don't start coming to fruition early in that game, and they know, oh, this is about to be a fucking game. This is about to be a dogfight. Anything can happen. And that's why I'm saying there's a chance. And I don't know if you guys was watching it live with me last week, right, when I had the Shield and all these guys, and I said, we might be able to sneak a game. We're not supposed to win, right? I think this team got the little makeups to sneak a game that they're not supposed to be winning. This might be that game. So y'all let me know down below, man, what do the Raiders have to do do you think, what type of game do the Raiders have to play? And at the end of the day, man, what would y'all do if y'all were coming into the scenario and y'all were the Raiders? How would you handle this week? And how would you be preparing? What would you say we need to do to really make this an ugly game? Let me know down below. Let's holler about it, man. I believe somebody, George Jorge, he said some very good insight in my comments. The other video, right? We was talking about the defense and Nate Hobbs, man. That's the type of interaction I want. And he made a very good point too. That he made me think about, and I will be talking about in tomorrow's video. So if you're watching, bro, you had me think about some shit. So watch tomorrow, definitely for my keys to victory. And at the end of the day, make sure you guys are hitting the like, hit the subscribe button, notification bell so you get updated. You don't want to miss none of these videos that I got dropping. And let us talking ball, us getting underneath the X's and O's and really getting to the nitty gritty. So at the end of the day, make sure you tap on all them buttons, and I keep it authentic from the clouds to the. Oh wait, before I even do that, I will be going live tonight, 10 o'clock. I got a great panel tonight. We're going to be talking more in depth about this Bills game, a little bit about the Denver game. So make sure you guys tune in tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Pacific time for tonight. Other than that, let me shut the fuck up. I'm done. All right, and I keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.
I need a bad bitch with an accent, serving in peace, still taxing. Just got tapped for the young Cash App, moonwalking like a young Mike Jackson. Yeah. Yeah, shots to the head. Ride clean and it's still fuck feds. Realest nigga and it's on my kids. So who the fuck gon' wanna test me, bitch?